There we go. So share screen, here we go. Just going to create a slideshow. Right, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. So for the purposes of anybody watching this as a recorded video, I'm just going to go through a game plan that I think might be useful in terms of giving you a flavour and ideas and potential for over the next year. So if you're plotting and planning what you're looking to do in the future, this might help you get an understanding as to what you can get out of this business if you persevere, put some time in and really go for it, because it's my belief is that it's incredibly exciting. So here we go. So game plan. Keeping it really simple. So how you earn with Oriflame, really simple in terms of what we do. We recommend products to all sorts of people. So whether it's family, friends, and you know, all my sort of local family of like my son and so on and so forth, I give them a little discount so they benefit as well. So we get a discount on what we buy ourselves. But you can build an online business through social media and loads of other avenues to do that. Building up a local customer base with catalogs, so that's distributing brochures, that works incredibly well. And here's the bit that can make it really exciting, is showing others how to do those things. So that's team building. So really simply, earning a retail profit. The more orders you take, the more profit you make. So there's two levels in terms of income. One is 20%, one is 30%. So orders up to £107, which is 100 bonus points. Don't worry about that now. We keep it all in cash terms to keep it simple. Up to £107, you earn 20%. If you do £108 plus, you earn the 30%. How you get paid that, don't worry for now, but that can be explained on another occasion or through your sponsor. So an example, over a 3-week campaign, if you do £100, you'll earn 20. If you did 500, you'd earn 150. 1,000, you'd earn 300, 2,000, 600. So that's the principle of it. The more you do, the more you earn. But the trigger point for the extra bonus, so you get 30%, is if you do over £108. So as a strategy, especially when you're getting started, aiming to do around £300 per campaign. And if you're doing this on catalogs, so you aim to do that with a customer base. So I'm not saying you're going to do that instantly, but build up to it. That's aiming to do £100 per week, £300 per campaign, and you can do that with your catalogs online if that's the area that is the area you're working on as your number one way of doing it, through family, friends, colleagues, and personal use. There's a whole range of different ways to achieve that. So we're looking for the basis of this little training, doing £300 per campaign. So this is the bit that makes it really powerful, and it's duplicating that. So we work on 17 campaigns a year, and just as a game plan, if you were to introduce somebody, recruit somebody, get someone to follow what you're doing, £300 a campaign. If you introduce one person, you would have a business turning over £600. There's my little mouse there. If that duplicated, so you got another one and they got one and everybody did £300, it becomes 1,200. Now the interesting thing is these are small numbers, and when they're doubled, they don't make particularly huge numbers, but as the numbers grow bit by bit, they become bigger. And when bigger numbers are duplicated, which is the same as what you're doing with the smaller numbers, they become quite exciting. So just to give you an idea, if you had a team of 30 odd people all doing £300, you'd be earning around about £1,000 a month from the business. You know, a turnover of around about £12,000 a year, which is not bad for a really part-time business. But the thing that is interesting, it revolves around doing something really simple. Sponsoring somebody who goes on to do 300 or more. And if you're doing that, you know, you can then show somebody else how to do that. So that's the basis and the principle of really turning this into a monster business, because as it grows, bear in mind, we're a global business, and next year you're going to be able to team build on quite a few countries around the world. So who do you know is in Holland, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Portugal, Spain, maybe Denmark, and maybe the USA. You'll be able to recruit in those areas. They've got these things pretty much in place now, but they've not yet launched it. So it's something that is in the pipeline. And the best way to find people in those countries is to recruit people in this country who may know somebody in those countries. And that's the best way, is to recruit in this country because they may know somebody in those countries. So that's the power of being in a global business. And that's where these sort of numbers, so when you've got a team of say 1,000, like Craig White, his business based on 1,000 is 300,000 pounds every campaign, and that's what he's actually doing now. So these numbers are really quite accurate. So a team of 30, each sponsor one person could become, goes on to do 300 pounds, becomes 60. So the bigger numbers duplicated become much bigger very quickly, and once you get that going, your income grows rapidly. So that's the power of network marketing, or duplication. So here's a game plan, bringing it right back to basics. So if you're getting to get your £300 coming in and you sponsor 4 other people, that will get you to the level called platinum. And there's a reason why that's an important level. So before platinum, you've got bronze, silver, and then gold, and then platinum. Just looking at the chart on the wall. Then you've got gold, then you've got platinum. Platinum is 1,000 points, which is £1,076. You can do it as an individual, and quite a few people do, but here's the interesting thing. Do it as an individual, and it's just you. If you do it with, say, 4 people, it doesn't have to be 4, it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5, 6. If you do it with a number of people, the potential to then build on from that is way more powerful than just you doing the 1,000 points. Because if you're doing 1,000 points, chances are you might struggle to do 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 points. But if you've got a team, there's no limit as to where you can go. So just in this example, you've got you doing 300, 4 others doing 300 each. So you've got a total team volume of £1,500. So you've easily got to platinum, so tick in that box. And what that means is your commission is going to be at 30%. You're going to be earning £90. But then, because you've got a team, you're going to earn extra bonuses on your team called unilevel bonuses of just over, or just nearly £77. So your overall income is £166. Now that's network marketing. So you're putting in your limited time into getting your 300, but because you've got a team and they're all doing their bit, collectively you've got to platinum. And from here it can grow. And let's just show you how it can grow. So if you just keep bringing people into the business, in this example, you've got you doing 300 and there's 10 others doing 300. So total turnover is 3,300. You're earning 30%, £90. Your bonus has shot up to £191. So now you're earning 281 every 3 weeks. So that's the collective power of their time and their volume. So if you're doing this really part-time, that allows you to build up your own personal retail, but your time then is, if you're putting in a limited amount of time, it's collective time of all these people that's building your business, if that kind of makes sense. This is where, moving on to the next slide, it becomes really powerful, because there's another level called director. And to get to director, you need to have 2 platinums in your team. So that's why the level of platinum is really important, because going back to platinum here, if you're platinum, you can then teach somebody else how to get to platinum. And what naturally happens is within a team, people will say, oh, I want to copy what you're doing. So if people copy in terms of sponsoring and recruiting, doing a doable level of retail, and they get to platinum, you get 2 people to platinum, your requirement to do personal retail will go up to £500, but by the time you get there, you would have built your customer base, and it would have built and developed. So you've got 2 people at the platinum level who've all got their own team of 10 people or whatever to create the 3,300. Add it all together, you've got an overall volume of £9,500. So your commission on your retail is 150, but the bonuses, unilevel and generation bonuses, don't worry about the terminology, but the bonuses on your team is now over £550 total, over £700 every 3 weeks. So on a calendar month, that's roughly £1,000. So,
Right.
and you're still doing pretty much the same retail yourself, but now you've actually got a business. So if you take a week off or whatever, you know, it's not significant. If one or two of these people take a week off, it's not such a big hit on your business. If it's just you doing, say, a massive amount of retail, and you just had two people in your team doing massive amounts of retail, if one of them went on holiday or broke a leg or something happened, it would decimate your business. So if you've got lots of people doing a reasonable amount of business collectively, it's power in numbers that gives you stability and strength in your business. So if you can coach and teach, get people to join, coach and teach them to do that 300 and use that as the basis, in reality, what will happen is some of those people doing 300, they might choose to go on and do loads more. They might do 500, 600. You might get somebody who wants to do £1,000 retail personally. But as a concept, get people aiming to do that and to sponsor and recruit at the same time. So they start to network. They can then have the opportunity to do what you're doing here. So, you know, I know Bridget's up for getting to director and beyond next year. I would suggest if you fancied having a crack at this as a target for next year, it'd be really cool if by the end of the year you got to director, creating £1,000 a month part-time income. Is that, I don't know, are you nodding your head? Is that something you could be interested in?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
it seems like a long way away yet, but I'm I'm happy to go for it.
Here's the thing. Just to give you an idea how that really works is
I saw some of this, when Jill was,
this is what Jill showed, and it's really interesting because this is how it really works. So you've got, this is just a snapshot of part of Jill's business, and it's about generations because they actually pay 5 generations deep in terms of bonuses. So these are called unilevel bonuses. So for what we call the front line, your frontline people, the grey ones, you earn 12%. Are the pink ones are the second generation, you earn 9%. The third ones is 5%, and we're not showing the others on there, but on the fourth generation, you can earn 4%, on the fifth generation, 1%. Now, these percentages are on the business after the 30% commission and VAT. So, and those calculations, I factored that in on the previous slide. So you can see how it can grow and duplicate once you get the ball rolling. The interesting thing is, there's a thing called a generation bonus. When you get to director, starts at 1% and goes up to 3%, but it's on all of the business. It can be on all of the business. So if you've got a really big team, you know, 3% on a massive team gives you a lot of income coming in on top of all the other bonuses. So you don't have to understand this inside out, other than the principle: if you build a team and teach other people to build a team, it will happen organically. And the interesting thing is, when we had our other business before it disappeared a couple of years ago, we had this happening in our own business, and so did people within our business as well. And what actually happened in terms of this concept of duplication, you know, a team of around about 30 odd doing around about £300 would give you around about £9,000 to £10,000 volume, would give you £1,000 income. In our previous business, we got it up to around about, in terms of active people, so it's not just numbers who join, people who do something, you know, 500 people would give us around 150,000 a month. And we got to that point in our previous income, and that would give you, and it's the same as in this company as well, it'd give you in the region of £4,000 or £5,000 per campaign income. So we know the principle works because we've done it before. That's why Craig is teaching this sort of stuff, because we've done it in the last 30 years. We did it in the previous business with a similar pay plan, similar concept, paying down in generations. So you're building a family tree on which you get paid. And here, the interesting thing is, it's also a pension plan as well. Because if you're on PAYE and you might be on, say, 25,000, 30,000 a year, PAYE, whatever age you're at, chances are you're going to be paying into a pension pot at some point. So for maybe 10 hours a month, you're going to be working for free, paying in 100, 150 pounds into a pension pot. You don't get any of that until you retire about 40 years later. And that's on the basis that the pension fund hasn't disappeared by the time you get to pension age. With this pension pot, building it up, you're earning as you go. Because once you've got this going, this becomes a pension fund as well. So it's in this day and age when people are doing 2 or 3 jobs and not worrying about pensions, this is a great way to build a pension long term, which is why we chose this company in the end for longevity, because it will create a pension fund as well as an income. So
so how was that worked out from that generating like 32 people, you said, which generates about around £9,600.
Right, if you go back to, there we go. So there's total volume, 9,500. You've got £709 over 3 weeks, divide by 4, and you're getting towards £1,000 calendar month.
Right. Okay.
Obviously this is a concept, because I guarantee you're never going to have a business that looks very pretty and exactly that. You're going to have somebody doing 500, somebody doing 100, somebody doing 300. So it all averages out. But if you can get people as a minimum building a customer base that will give them a minimum of 300 turnover.
Right. No, I was just looking at this one. Total income was like £700, and then on the other chart it was 1,000.
Yeah, no, I'm talking £1,000 a month, calendar month.
Right. So the other one's per campaign.
Yeah, per campaign. Yeah, calendar month.
Right. So, I see. Okay. Right.
Yeah, so calendar month. But in reality, the people who are doing it right now. So we've got in Jill's team, we got Sue Burrows and we've got Tracy Payne. They're actually exceeding income-wise. They're exceeding this. So this is not like a plan that is impossible to attain. This is a very doable plan, but you could be a whole lot more, because some people will do a lot more retail because they've got more time available and so on and so forth. And that's an extra bonus for you as a team builder, because you earn on that level of retail that they do. But if you show people how to build a good customer base that gives you a regular turnover, and teach people how to do the same whilst they're building it, they're getting around about £90 income coming in. Obviously you've got to factor in that maybe a handling charge and some catalogs and so on. So this is just a business plan, but over time, as it grows and grows, you're going to have running costs, and when you get to this level, those running costs are going to be relevant in terms of offsetting against tax. So they're expenses that you couldn't reduce any tax that you might have to pay. So that's another sort of bonus further down the road. This I think is the exciting thing, because it's learning how it gives you an idea of how it grows in terms of like a family tree growing, and the whole thing's been completely planned out and designed to keep growing your income as your team grows, because you'll have people within your team who get incredibly excited and want to build a great team themselves. So this is where people who get to platinum think, right, I want to get to director next. And somebody gets to director will think, I want to get to the next level. And when you get to the right top end level within the pay plan, they got a cash bonus of over £100,000.
Right.
Which is quite staggering. And there are other cash bonuses on this journey as well. When you get to director, there's all sorts of cash bonuses when you hit director in the first few years. So there's other income you can get out of this as you're growing it. But in terms of a strategy to build a business from scratch, thinking, right, this is what I want to do next, because it's key to moving it to the next higher level. So, as a game plan, if you focus on this area first, so it's building up your 300 and then start getting into the team building side, and you don't have to get to your 300 before you show other people how to do it. It's now telling me I'm running out of time, so I've got another 10 minutes. So this is the bit, if you're up for it and you want to have a real good go for it for next year, this is the bit we need to do some work, and Bridget obviously to do some work with you to help you get going in terms of team building. Because what Bridget's done, she's moved from getting going, and she's now she's now You are platinum, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's now platinum now, and she's got a team that's beginning to look like this. So she's done this stage. So Bridget can show you what she's done and how she's done it to get to this point, because she's there.
Right.
So it's just.
And how long has that taken you, Bridget, to get to platinum?
I've been in the business nearly 2 years.
Yeah, but it's when you got going into it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I would say since June was when I got going properly. I would say June is how long that's taken to happen up.
So then, because she's on a roll and she knows what she's doing, to get to this stage, it isn't going to take long, because she's now sponsoring people every campaign, and she's got now people working and doing it. She's got Nadia and Ali, and you've got a few others now that you're working with. So this is beginning to happen. Once you get this bit beginning to happen, it suddenly explodes quite quickly, which is what Tracy Payne has found, if you see them on Zooms, and what Sue Burris has found. They were sort of jogging along at 2,000 or 3,000, and suddenly that became 4 or 5, and then that became 8. Tracy's on about 15, 16. I think Jill was jogging along at 20. Well, that's almost doubled in the space of 2 campaigns, because it's bigger numbers when they double become much bigger. Little numbers when they double, same principle, don't look so big, but as they grow, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, and eventually 250 becomes 500, 500 becomes 1,000. So it's that principle. It doesn't work exactly like that, but the principle, that's why you can suddenly, it takes the time to kick it off. It's a bit like mixing a cake. You're spending quite a long time looking for the ingredients, looking for the people who want to play with this properly. And once you've got the ingredients, that's when you can start making the cake and create a really good team, and it all starts to kick off and really, really goes. So it's a building process, and that's where the learning of how it works properly is important. So, but it's not rocket science. It's just about finding a few people who want to do this, and if they know about this and this, they start thinking a bit further ahead. So now's a good time to think about next year. And anybody who thinks, I want to have a crack at that, anybody can get to director next year. It's just a process in, well, where do I start? And starting is there. So hopefully that's given you a little flavour and something to think about for next year, because it'd be cool to be earning £1,000 a month, doing what you're doing now, plus with a bit of a team. That, I guess, could make a difference.
Right, yes. Okay, yes. It's basically similar to what I've read in the book that you sent me.
Yes, it's exactly, I forgot about that. Yes, exactly that. Yes, exactly that. Yeah, Don Failer. It's exactly that. And that's how people around the world, when you've got a global business, that's how people within the global business have built ginormous businesses with tens of, bear in mind, there's 3 million brand partners in Oriflame around the world. So that's how people have got teams of tens of thousands who are earning, in excess of $1 million or 2 million a year income. And all it started with was 1, became 2, became 4, became 8, and it just grew over time. So I'm not saying everybody is going to build to that level, but there are people who have built it to that level. So if you like, that is bang on accurate. In terms of the time scale, that 17 might be 5 years. It's the process step by step by step.
Yes. And for the order books and the bags, they stopped doing the bags now, haven't they? So I find it a bit more difficult during this weather, especially when people start leaving catalogues out and it's all wet.
You need to get some snappy bags.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you need to get some snappy bags. Well, this is gonna cut off any second now. So Bridget will have a chat with you once we're through this. You can actually get snappy bags from MLM.
I can email her the link. I can email the link, because I've got the link on the email to where you can order them for, because they're not that expensive.
Are they just clear plastic bags?
Yeah. Yes. Snappy bits at the top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Really protective. Yeah. If we go into really some real bad weather, they're perfect. Yeah. You just need a pack, and it'll probably last you for 2 or 3 months. So they come in
Right,
packs of
okay.
100.
It's
So
a shame, isn't it? Because the Oriflame ones was quite good, and it looked very professional and nice as well.
they do.
Yeah.
I think with their eye to being, you know, good for their footprint on the planet, they're trying to reduce the amount of plastics that they're involved in.
Right.
And I've got a cupboard stacked full of those white bags because I
Me
used to sell them
too.
every time.
Me
So
too.
that's
I'm
just
addicted to getting them.
yeah, that's just a load of plastic sitting in my cupboard, so I can see where they're coming from. But in the UK, it
Yeah.
rains. We do it this way, so we do need them. But the snappy ones are perfect.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it at that. What you've got is a bit of a game plan there, and I think that's the game plan that I'm sort of trying to major on with everybody in the team, because I know it's worked, and it's worked for when we had businesses before in the other company. It worked absolutely bang on then. It's exactly the same now, and it's now working. I can see it working within Oriflame, and in the teams that we're in, we're all doing it kind of this way. And it's just that understanding of just get a few people together rather than do it all on your own. Do it collectively with a few people, and a few people can become bigger, and bigger become much bigger, and much bigger can become ginormous, whether you like it or not, because you'll have people in your team eventually that are, you know, rocking and rolling regardless of what you're doing. So it's a case of catching their tail and benefit from you know, the early days that you put in. There you go.
Right.
Done.
Yes.
So I'll follow that up with that handout that I've got, and also that video with building the customer base with the catalogs. You're doing exactly what you need to do, which is great. So you don't need to do, I don't think, anything else other than what you're doing, and it will grow and grow and grow. So we just need to help you find a few people to really kickstart 2021.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'm going to disappear because before I get
Right.
cut off, because I will be any second now.
Okay.
Where am I? Trying to find my way out of here. Remaining meeting time 2 minutes 28. Stop sharing. I'm going to disappear. So you have a cracking week, and if we don't speak before Christmas, have a brilliant one.
Thank you. You
Speak to
too.
you soon.
Bye.
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 Bye.